episode is sponsored by Immune Ready. Have you ever noticed how low energy, brain fog, or slow recovery sneak up when your body's defenses are down? That's your immunity gaps showing. Immune Ready is the daily drink mix that fills those gaps. It's powered by clinically proven BWH-85 beta-glucan, shown to double immune function. That means more energy, stronger recovery, better focus, and real resilience against colds and stress. Join me in the thousands who are already feeling their best. Visit drinkimmuneready.com and use code SGG40 for 40% off. That's drinkimmuneready.com and use code SGG40 for 40% off. Welcome to the Savvy Giving Gal podcast. I'm your host, Melissa Turilli-Smith. I am beyond honored to welcome a powerhouse couple to the show, Natalia and Ryan Lazarus. You've heard their voices separately in the past episodes, but today they're here together to share a wealth of wisdom and inspiration. Natalia, who is just 1 month away from an extraordinary feat, the Great World Race, 7 marathons in 7 days on 7 continents. She's also the author of The Inner Race, a powerful book that helps women navigate midlife and reignite their inner spark through pursuing bold, life-changing challenges. Alongside her is her husband, Dr. Ryan Lazarus, a leading functional medicine practitioner, founder of the Lazarus Method, and author of the newly released book, The Essential Health Playbook, a holistic method to beat fatigue, boost strength, and heal your gut. As Natalia trains for this once-in-a-lifetime challenge and Ryan supports her every step of the way, they're here to share insights we can all apply in our daily lives, from simple habits to improve our health and strengthen our immune systems, to the importance of community and even the power of finding our own inspired challenge. This conversation is filled with encouragement, practical tips, and the kind of wisdom that can truly transform how we approach our well-being and our purpose. Natalia, Ryan, welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you. It's so exciting to be here again.
Oh my God, I'm so excited to have you both here again and here together. What a treat for me. So Natalia, I really want to start by talking about, the race. It's a month away. You're probably in full preparation mode. Can you tell us a little bit about what your training looks like every week?
Yes. Yeah, it's getting very close. Which is starting to feel really real. I signed up for the race last December. So I've been looking forward to it for a long time. I'm at about 80 miles a week running, and that'll, starting next week, I'll have the hardest 3 training blocks, touching almost 100 miles a week with 3 back-to-back 20 milers. And then it'll start to taper off. Okay. So what's really important to me is the 3 pillars of fitness. So running obviously is a huge piece of training, but the strength piece is really important because if you think about on those long runs, especially back to back, I get so tired when I'm out there. And so it's really easy to fatigue. And if you don't have the strength piece, then everything kind of starts to fall apart. And that's a really good way to get injured. So having the running piece, cardiovascular, and then the strength piece, and then really important is the mobility flexibility. So taking time for recovery, foam rolling, yoga, fitting all 3 pieces in. And so it's a lot right now. It's a lot of time and energy. Luckily, I love to do all 3 of those things. Yes. And so I have fun when I'm doing it. But yeah, the training is pretty intense right now.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so intense to me because honestly, running a mile feels intense to me. So that is like out of control. You mentioned a couple things other than running, but when you think about your performance, what elements outside of running and the others you mentioned, like sleep, strength, mindset, recovery, what do you think are the most important and what have you incorporated in your training?
Yeah. So, you said sleep. That's really the non-negotiable piece. We go to bed embarrassingly early in our house. We kind of always have. And now we're just like, we're taking it one step further.
Right.
So I say goodnight to my kids at around 8 o'clock these days. I'm up at about 4:30 in the morning to get the training hours in early. So sleep is very important. And then mindset is, for me, for this race, especially everything. Yeah. Because we will put in, as in all the racers, months of training. And, training your body to withstand the mileage, it's almost 184 miles in this 7-day period. It's a lot, but there will be very tough moments that the mindset will be the most important part. Your legs are going to be tired, and that's not going to change. And so you're going to have to find a place inside where you can dig deep. So I'm just constantly putting myself in situations where I can build the tools for mental resiliency so that I can fall back on them on the really tough moments of the race.
Yeah. Can you just speak real quick about the tools that you do use to build that mental fitness? Because I think that's such a broad term that we all kind of get overwhelmed by sometimes and all would love to have more mental fitness. And you clearly are at the top of your game when it comes to that because you have to be. So can you just share a couple?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of this I've learned from Ryan. So I start my day with meditation and journaling always to set my day. And sometimes that's an hour in the morning and sometimes it's 5 minutes. It's really whatever I can give to it. But it does help me ground myself in the morning so I can make the best of my day going forward. But tools that I've learned over, the past 8 months or so of training, one of my favorite ones I fall back on is taking big things and like almost chunking them out into smaller, more doable pieces. So if I think of a long run, let's say a marathon, 26 miles, when you're in mile 1, 26 miles feels impossible, right? If you're already uncomfortable in mile 1 or mile 2. So breaking it down into smaller pieces really helps me just stay present in the moment and what I can control. So I will focus on just that mile. And then sometimes, I have to break it down even smaller and it becomes run to the next stop sign.
Yeah.
And sometimes I have to break it down even smaller and it's count to 10. Right. And that's like, it really helped me. It helps like in the cold plunge when I'm really uncomfortable too.
Yeah. Yes.
It's almost just training myself to stay right where I am. And what happens is we call it the pain cave as an endurance athletes, like this moment where you feel so uncomfortable and you want to quit and you want to stop and your body's screaming, but it's temporary. And so if you can push through it, if you can withstand it, if you can, fall back on tools that can help you, you'll get on the other side. And so counting to 10 seems really simple, but it just kind of keeps me exactly where I'm at. And then, you end up on the other side eventually.
Yeah, I love that tip so much because I think it is so applicable to all of our lives. We don't have to be doing the great world race to take a step back and kind of break our issues down into smaller pieces to try to swallow them or fix them or change them. So, along with mindset and sleep and recovery, nutrition is huge. It's probably the cornerstone of, the base of what you're doing is. And so can you speak to, how you use nutrition in this endurance prep you're doing and your approach to that during the race and I guess before and during the race?
Yeah. So Ryan has been very helpful in building a protocol and helping me dial in what I can. I basically just think of food as fuel at this point, which we all should, but it's more important now than ever to have the fuel because I cannot, put in the mileage if I don't have enough fuel in my system. And part of that has been challenging. Like I'm not hungry usually in the mornings. And so I kind of have to like retrain myself. I got to get in the fuel before I start the run. And that's, hard at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning when I don't feel like eating. And, during the race, I won't really have control over food. And so part of what I'm trying to do while I'm doing these runs is eat while I'm running, not the gels and the racing stuff, but kind of normal food, just to train my stomach to be able to digest and, different things than I would normally eat. Because again, I won't have control over that.
Right. So Ryan, could you just speak to nutrition just for a second too, because we're not all running the great world race. And I love hearing about how you are fueling your body during that because there are a lot of athletes that will listen to this episode. But for the regular person that's trying to just endure their day or endure regular fitness, do you have any tips on nutrition for that person?
Yeah, absolutely. You brought up a good point, which is what you're not used to, which is, eating before, eating during. That's part of training too. A lot of people ask Natalia about the training, and the training is experimenting right now. She's experimenting in the last 6 months with eating foods when she's not hungry after a really long run, which is very hard. How does her gut handle it? Because she needs to figure this stuff out, what she can handle when she's on the plane, when she's on different continents. Right. So that's a really interesting experiment. I'm a nutritionist, right? And so, I know her metabolic rate and her activity level. And so, we dialed in 3,000 to 4,000 calories and what her macronutrients are and her protein and her carbohydrates. And she's kind of like, I wouldn't say a robot, but it's like, you need to bring these things in right now. Yeah. For the average person, everybody should really know what their basal metabolic rate is and their adjusted metabolic rate. And if they have body composition goals or activity goals, what ranges they should be in. And then the timing of the food is a big factor. And so for the average racer out there, having that information and then experimenting with foods that are easy, that you can take in driving, commuting, working. That's a big thing with Natalia. We're very, very busy, and you're not sitting there, with all of your meals on a plate every single day in your kitchen. So just being able to experiment with being on the go, what bars are good, what shakes are good. That's the take home, and that takes just a little bit of practice.
Yeah. And I think it's also, and this is not a plug, I really actually believe this and throughout my own life, is that hiring a functional medicine practitioner or a nutritionist, just even once in your fitness journey is really beneficial because that person is educated and can give you that background about yourself. And then you can take it and apply it to your own life. So I definitely think it's worthwhile to know those things, and you may not know it on your own and you need a little professional
We all need help and guidance and personalization and coaching. Right. Yeah. It's just, how often does the runner and her husband together? That's
what I love about this. It's like a built-in nutritionist at the house, and then, built-in inspiration for you in the house. Yeah,
you haven't told her that I wake up at 3 a.m. and build you all your custom meals. Oh, sure, you do, right?
You wake her up and you journal with her.
Massage her feet in the morning. And here's your lunch for the day, honey.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. I believe that actually, I'm going to believe that that actually happens. I'm so excited to share today's sponsor, Vitality Bowls. Not only is it our go-to restaurant for clean, allergy-free acai bowls, smoothies, wraps, salads, paninis, and more, all made with organic granola and organic acai, but it's also an incredible franchise opportunity. With over 70 locations nationwide, Vitality Bowls offers entrepreneurs a chance to own a business that prioritizes health, quality, and community impact. Plus, Vitality Bowls is giving my listeners an exclusive discount of $1,000 off the initial franchise fee. Just email franchise@vitalitybowls.com and mention the Savvy Giving Gal podcast for more details. So, obviously nutrition, sleep, mindset, all these things, but I'm sure you need to supplement. I think it's hard to get everything sometimes we need from just our food. So supplements are often debated. Yeah, they are debated all the time. Can you speak to supplements and how that has helped your endurance and what you do in that category in terms of helping you get to where you need to be for the race?
Yeah, definitely. Supplements have always been a cornerstone for our family. And so that piece is not new. Yeah. I just rely on it for general health. Mm-hmm. What is new is he's kind of crafted a mix of the things that I need for the miles that I'm putting in, focusing on adrenal health, and I'll let you kind of go into that. But there's just a little extra that I need. Mm-hmm. But what's really helped, for supplements is just, again, it's all about the preparation. So I have it all out and ready to go. Yes. And I have my timing of everything, when I need some you need without food and some you need with food. And, you got to break them up into different sections of the day. There are quite a few of them that I take on a daily basis. But I really do feel like they help. And it's really just, it's going to be a race of slowly wearing down the body. and the travel and long days and being in close quarters with 60 other people who will also be doing the same thing, having any kind of edge in your health is really, really important. And so it just takes a little extra work and planning to get it all in. And obviously he has the knowledge. So I just consider it a tool in my toolbox.
Mm-hmm. And Ryan, can you speak to how you put that plan together and what supplements you chose for Natalia, and then maybe some general ones that we all should be thinking about taking?
Yeah. It's a very hot topic, right?
Yes.
So we always take the foundations like Natalia described. So a multivitamin, a multimineral, essential fatty acids, a probiotic, vitamin D3. Those are like tier 1 essentials.
Right.
The fitness is kind of tier 2, which is I have her on creatine, which is great for recovery and performance. We use protein powders because to get the protein in where she should be, it's a very, very key part of our routine. There's other things for fitness, branched chain amino acids, leucine, isoleucine, valine. That's for muscle repair and recovery. I have her on some NAD precursors that just helps the mitochondria. The adrenal health, it's basically a slow death, Natalia, right? I mean, it is a very, very hard catabolic breakdown of the body, and you can only try to recover as much as you can. And so supporting the adrenals during the training and during the race is a big part of it. It's also very hard on her nervous system. I mean, really what she is doing in the last 6 months is training her nervous system to withstand excessive amounts of stress. Stress on her circadian rhythm, on her mental, emotional stability, on her physical, there's the amount of mileage and pounding on her joints. So there's joint formulas and then nervous system support and then immune. We have to keep her immune system strong.
Yeah.
And so she's on an immune stack that we've grown to love together that prevents her from getting sick.
Right.
And so, I can speak to all kinds of different exact supplements, but like those are the general categories.
Right.
But everybody should really know, the basic tiers of supplementation and have some level of personalization to that.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it can get really overwhelming. So starting with those basics that you mentioned maybe is a good place. And then depending on what type of athlete you are or where you are, maybe age-wise, all different things, then you can start adding some of these other more complicated, supplements into your routine. I want to go back to something you said about immune health because honestly, it's often overlooked, and what you're doing to your body specifically is very taxing. And, I was just thinking about it when I was preparing for the episode, how just not sleeping for my son makes him get sick all the time, or just, not eating right, or all the things. So can you speak to how important it is to stay healthy and how important the immune system is in this process?
Yeah, it's crucial. Especially with literally weeks left to go and the hardest training block in front of me. Add on to that, we have 2 teenagers. It's, change of season time, back to school. I cannot live in a bubble. I have to live in real life. But having any time off of the training is will set me back pretty far. And so keeping my immune system healthy is top priority. And our family takes that whole approach. So we've got to keep our kids' immune systems strong and healthy too, right? As they're, going through their days and their lives. So I'm constantly, doing everything that I can to make sure that immune health is a top priority.
Right. Can you speak to what you take for immune health and how it's impacted your training?
Yeah. So Ryan has me, and you can jump in here too, because you can go deeper into the science, but a vitamin D, vitamin C, and then Immune Ready has been the newest addition to our immune protocol. And that's been a game changer. And I'll say, all these supplements I'm, just swallow and whatever. This is I actually enjoy. It's part of my routine, part of my recovery. I come home, it's a drink formula. So it's something I really look forward to as part of the protocol. And did I miss anything?
Well, there's selenium and zinc and ascorbic acid, but the Immune Ready, they're called beta glucans.
Okay.
And they're derived from different mushrooms, but also a specific one that's called baker's yeast. Oh, okay. And we learned about this many months ago, and it is part of our entire routine. In fact, our kids now give it to their friends.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Passing
because
it out.
It tastes so good.
Yeah.
But beta glucans are like secret weapons of immunity. Not to geek out too much, but I mean, it's really important. The science has showed how effective it is in athletes, endurance athletes, runners, marathons. I went through all the research. And, as you train and as the intensity and the duration increases, there is something called an open window. And the open window is a time frame after a very hard endurance event in which your immune system is suppressed. And beta glucans go in there and they basically create this immune resiliency because your lymphocytes and something called natural killer cells, which are really important parts of your innate immune system that prevent you from getting sick, are suppressed during this window. Other things like secretory IgA, which is just the part of our gut that these immunoglobulins protect us from our gut, that is suppressed during this open window. And then obviously you have inflammation and these kind of what we call T helper cells that can get thrown off. So there is a very vulnerable window of all athletes, and these beta glucans go in and they help modulate this. And so the research was really clear, and the science says that, there's actually 37% reduction in cold and flu symptoms. And if you happen to get sick, the severity is less. So we have her on this right now, and she's not been sick at all. And she will be having every single day, every single continent to keep her super strong and resilient during and then after as well. And so there's all the normal immune ones, but this is kind of our secret weapon right now. Yeah.
I love it. Honestly, I think that it's often overlooked. And if you can find a product like Immune Boost and you use it and it is effective and your whole family is not something that, just an endurance athlete uses. Like for me to bring it into my family and to not get sick and for my children to not get sick, it is such an awesome addition to all the things that we're trying to do to stay as healthy as we possibly can.
Yeah.
So, and I think immunity is really overlooked until you get sick.
Yes.
And then you're set back.
Yes.
We all are, but you really would be set back.
And that happened to me early on this year. The training had just ramped up and I had started a new job, launching a product. And so it was like the stress level of kind of all the things were very, very high. And add on to that, we had to fly to Vegas for a meeting, stay in Vegas, be in a hotel. So it was off all of my normal routine. And it was just, happened so fast. And when I got back, I was sick, which, is terrible. But then the time you have to take off before you can actually hit the mileage that you were at before you got sick, because you have to kind of ramp back up again.
Yeah.
And so I would get really excited, go for a run and realize like I'm not 100%. And so it's not just taking a week off like you would, if you're sick for a couple of days, you go back to work. It's your whole body has to heal to be able to put on the stress and the mileage, especially, what I'm up to right now, which is it's a heavy amount.
Right. And, I was just thinking that you don't think about immunity as a recovery tool, but actually you really are, by taking it, recovering your whole body. Like you were mentioning, all that science, you're going in ahead of time and kind of fighting off anything that could possibly happen.
That's the key with immunity.
Yeah.
We call it immunity gaps in functional medicine, which is areas where if we are not addressing certain parts of our life, it's eventually going to result in sickness. So sleep is the obvious one. Nutrition is another one. Travel is one of them. Altered gut health is another one. Stress is another one.
Right.
In my office and what I've seen over, decades of helping people is people are reactive with immunity. They're going about their life, and then they, at the first feeling of symptoms, are like, I should probably take some zinc. And so there is this this thing in science called prodrome period, which is like before symptoms. And so what we're trying to do is be extremely preventative with this. And immune system is top priority. So there's a prevention, there is at early onset of symptoms, there's this protocol with this dosage. And then if you are sick, the natural protocol. And so we're not trying to do the kind of symptomatic one. We're trying to get ahead of it.
Right.
But we have, if for any reason it happens, during the race or on the plane, we have, the toolkits to help.
Yeah. That's fantastic. And I think everyone who's listening can benefit from Immune Ready, like something like that, where you're bringing that into your life and adding it to that basic platform of supplements that.
Oh yeah, we'll be taking this way after the race.
Yeah,
I mean, I train really hard too, and I have a competition coming up, and I have all kinds of athletes from all over the world, and so I've been recommending it and seeing great results there too. Yeah.
And not only that, like I mentioned, it tastes good.
Yeah.
My daughter, Sienna went to a cross country race, and she grabbed a handful of them and put them in her race bag to take to her teammates.
Right.
Because she was so excited to share
right.
this, thing that we enjoy in our house all the time.
Yeah.
So it was kind of neat to see her take ownership over that, over her health and her friends' health and share it with them.
Yeah, no, I love that so much too, because I can't wait to try it. And I can't wait to give it to my son. And our kids are athletes. I feel like it's a little different than when we were. They are intense, and your children are, mine. They need help. They need those supplements. They can't just kind of rest on their laurels in terms of doing the regular things kids do. They're taxing their bodies as well. And so if it's safe for kids to take, I think that's a huge addition to their lives.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. What we're learning a lot from this training, and we're going to learn a lot during this challenge. And that's the great thing about what you're doing is she's learning a lot about herself, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, and we're kind of along with the ride. And we're learning as a family what we need to do.
Yeah.
Whether they want to or not.
Yeah. And so I really do want to speak to that a little bit. I want to talk about as a family unit, because, this is not common that you have a functional medicine practitioner in the house. You have someone running such an extreme race. And then you have two children who are teenagers, but they still kind of need you,
And a golden retriever, which...
and the dog. Yes. And the dog is stressed out.
He
needs Immune Ready because he's stressed out. Can you just speak to what you're doing in the family unit and how, any suggestions you can give to anyone who is training for something like this or just in general?
Yeah. So I have actually a lot to say on this topic because a lot of it is very difficult. Our kids have had to take on a lot this year because I just can't do as much. And so they've had to really grow up in a lot of ways, whether or not they wanted to. In order to take some of the load off of me, just I don't have the time or the bandwidth to do all the little things I used to do. And part of that is really hard for me because I take a lot of pride in those mom things we all know, getting them ready in the morning, getting them out the door. And so having them, that they have to walk to school or ride their bike to school on a lot of mornings just because they can't get back in time. And it's been really neat to see them show up for me in that way. And I would say on top of that, it's such a gift to kids are like monkey see, monkey do, right? And so having them see me chase my dream and having them live alongside all of the vulnerable pieces of this year, overcoming imposter syndrome and self-doubt and fears with the race and injuries and illnesses. And there's just been a lot that I've had to work through. You can't hide that from your kids. They see it, right? But they see it and appreciate it when it comes out on the other side. So they can see the hard work that goes into chasing your dream. They can see the vulnerability that goes alongside it. And even though, ours are 16 today, actually, and almost 14. So they're teenagers. They won't tell you to your face, right? Teenagers are kind of funny like that. But there was a work trip I went on recently, and our daughter had written me a note, and she put it inside my journal, knowing that I would be journaling in my hotel room. Yeah. And it basically just said, "I'm so proud of you." And I burst into tears.
I'm going to cry right now that you got it.
It was so meaningful, and I will have it and treasure it forever because I think you never know how closely they're watching everything you do.
Yes.
So,
And what a great thing that you are living through an example too. I mean, because we say a lot to our kids like, oh, life is hard, or, there are setbacks, or we say it, but they very rarely, it's a gift to see it. So the fact that they see it in you, and honestly, Ryan, you supporting Natalia, because I'm sure a lot of your stuff has to take a back seat to what she's doing, and you have to support her, and you support each other. But this is a big deal, and it's a month away. And so, I mean, even as a husband, and you can speak to this, like, I think it shows you also how you need to step up and support your partner.
100%. I've learned a lot about being a father, about housework, about cooking, carpool.
I heard you're actually a really good cook. I heard you stepped it up, and the cooking is one of the areas you have taken over.
I actually love it. I have always loved it. I just am so busy that I have assumed it was being taken care of.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the
like a
silver
role
linings.
reversal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could tell you all the benefits of it because obviously I'm, a nutrition expert. So that's been great. And the kids have been helping around the house. Like, it's not telling them to do the chores anymore. They know that they want to help.
Yes.
And just to speak on, you're modeling it, and they tell their friends, and they'll tell other people, and they'll like whisper it to, to us. But they're observing everything, and they're very proud of her. So, it's pretty cool to watch them or listen to them tell their friends or tell their friends' parents about what their mom is doing. And so, but I'm learning a lot about how I can help, and it's better for the family tribe. And the goal would be to continue with this somehow. And that's little things too. Like we're just orderly people. We're Virgos, and so we like the house in order. And so there's certain things where things get sacrificed, and it's okay. It's okay. We realize that we have reprioritized what is the most important, and there's a lot of little things that just don't make the cut anymore.
Right. I really believe going forward after the race, like you both together are going to be able to be really a teaching tool for so many people and couples and families, because you are living examples of what it means to be a family, what it means to support each other, what it means to show your kids, not just tell your kids. And I think I know we need more of that in the world. And so to be part of your orbit for me is such a blessing. And honestly, to be a friend to you, not only just, a guest on my podcast, I feel excited to tell people about what you're doing. And it is just a beautiful thing. And I think you've already succeeded by doing the training and already succeeded by setting the goal. And I just want you to know that we all are rooting for you, the whole community, and not just your kids and your husband.
Thank you.
I do want to talk about goals and purpose just for a quick second, because your book is so spectacular, and it does talk about setting these goals at midlife and, being inspired again. So can you just speak to the women and men, but women listening, and what they can do to be inspired by what you're doing and live an inspired life?
It's a great question. My advice to other people who want to take the first step or the next step is really just to follow your curiosity, because there's so many things that maybe we loved from childhood, pieces of us that we just, haven't invested time in, haven't been able to grow that area inside of ourselves. And just by following your curiosity, it opens up so many doors, like that little fire inside that maybe, at my points in my life, we've talked about this before, it's been like a pilot light, barely on, and has this amazing potential to turn into a raging fire, right? If you just follow the path that's meant for you, that's truly aligned. There's so much potential in all of us. And part of why I wanted to do this race is really just to tap into what's possible. I don't know what's possible, but I really want to find out. And so if anyone, just wants to get curious about their own life, there's just so much on the other side, and it's worthwhile. It's worth it to pursue your own potential, figure out what that is. And, it feels at times like a roller coaster ride, but it's a good one.
Yeah.
I'd sign up for it all over
fun,
again.
And I'm glad I'm on the sideline watching the roller coaster go. I mean, really, your first episode here inspired so many women to just take that next step and be curious about some of the things that made them happy, maybe in their younger years, which was the suggestion you made last time as well. And I think that that's an easy place to start. And look now. I mean, maybe we won't all be running the Great World Race, but we will be doing things that we never thought that we possibly could.
Yes. And I think, what's really incredible about that is that the person that does, really ignite their own spark, it's such a contagious thing. And so other people will see, that person excited about something again, life again, a passion that they have. And it's just this amazing ripple effect. It's great for the whole community, great for kids to see, for friends, coworkers. Because I think, deep down, we really all want each other to succeed. And so there's just this bright light inside all of us that just needs maybe just a little bit of extra ignition sometimes, but it's in there.
Hey, travel lovers, it's Melissa. Traveling with my family to explore new cultures brings me so much joy. And all business class travel can make it even better with their top-notch personalized service. Use promo code SAVVY, that's SAVVY, to get complimentary Black Car Airport transfers. All business class travel makes it easy to focus on what really matters, cherished memories. Visit allbusinessclass.com and start planning your next incredible journey. Now we're going to run the race on the 15th of November. What is next for the both of you? For your family, for your careers, after the race is over, what are you excited about?
So this race for me is so much bigger than just the race. My personal mission statement is to inspire and empower others through fitness. And so this is a medium for me. I'd like to, be in a situation where I have a larger audience and can reach more people. And so we're working on that for next year. Honestly, I'm so focused on November 15th. It's almost like I can't imagine what will happen after, right? It's like I'll just have such a different life experience to fall back on after the race. But I am very excited for our family that we get to experience it together. I think that's really important because the kids our whole family's been such a big part of the preparation piece for them to be there. They'll be in Cape Town for Marathon 2 and then in Miami for Marathon 7. So for the finish, to feel like they've been part of it all the way through is really important.
I love that you incorporated them in all of this as well, that they'll actually be there to see you do it, even though they see you do it all the time. But the actual excitement of the day. How about you, Ryan? What do you see after November 15th for your family or career or just for Natalia?
Yeah, she has amazing potential. She's setting this challenge because she knows it's deep in there and that's the way to find it. And she wants to share it with other people. And she has a lot of knowledge. I mean, very humble, but a yoga instructor, certified yoga instructor, certified health coach, a certified personal trainer, a CrossFit instructor. What else am I forgetting?
No, I think I got a couple more in there, but those are the most important ones.
She's really excited to be able to share her fitness knowledge and experience with other people and blend it in with motivation and, health protocols. And so I know you're really excited about that.
Yeah. No, I think it's great. And I love that you are doing it also together, I have to say. I think it's a beautiful thing to show people that you're supporting each other and that you're working together and you have your separate things, but that you're trying to do and, share this beauty in the world together. I really I feel like that's a great message.
It is really neat because our values at home have always been very aligned in health and wellness. And so we live that way together, but not kind of on such a large stage have we ever like kind of put it to the test.
Yeah.
And so it's been really fun so far, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've been on the podcast and I've talked about, my book and the Lazarus Method, which is these 7 health elements. And she's living every single one of them right now. And, for the listeners that have never heard this, the bottom of the framework is nourish, rest, and move. And we just spent, the last 20 minutes talking about how important those are. And those are the very obvious foundations and anchors of health. But kind of the growth mindset, expansion, spark region in my framework is, learn, connect, and challenge. That's what she's really spending a lot of time with right now. And so sharing that knowledge with other people and having them inspired to expand their potential is what's really the journey is about. And so, and then that spark, right? You talked about it, a pilot light and a raging fire. I mean, the spark is ultimately why we do what we do. And I know you're excited to share what you learn, what you're learning right now, and what you're going to learn when you're getting pressed in a deep, deep pain cave and coming out of that and then explaining it to people, because we all have our own pain caves. And so there's a lot of lessons that I think you're excited to share after.
Yeah. I'm excited to have you back after to kind of now on the other side of it and share, everything that went on. But, at the end of every episode, I always ask my guests the same 3 questions. But because both of you have answered those questions in episode 15 and episode 18, I'd like to ask you a different question, both of you. And I want to start with you, Ryan, only because the last time you were here, we talked a lot about your framework. And one of the parts of your framework that really resonated with me was the addition of community in this framework of health that you have. And so in what way has being part of a supportive community impacted your health?
It's really interesting evaluating our networks and our tribes and our friends and our community. And it's been a blessing to have people express how supportive they are, how they can follow, how they can help. It's been really amazing. And, also the people that we thought that would, not really getting other responses. There's been a really interesting human experiment with people that know what she's doing and their, explanations. And so we've really got to really audit the people in our lives, not from a judgment, but just from how people kind of respond to this. Right. And overall majority is very supportive, and we just feel like really blessed that people want to help and people want to follow and people want to learn. And so that's what this is all about. That's what you do. That's what we're trying to do, which is it's service. It's we're going through a unique experience. Here's what we're learning. Here's how we're sharing it with you and how you can take it and apply it to your life. So very honored to be able to share that with the community.
Yeah, I love that too. And Natalia, in what ways has being part of a supportive community shaped your health journey?
So I think of community as everything. It really is. It's in a lot of ways a mirror. On really tough days, it's been the one thing that's picked me up is the support from the community. And I mean small things, like just running into somebody at, my favorite spot, Pete's Coffee in the morning, and just one small piece of encouragement that hits you on that one day. And it's just like change you in a complete different trajectory. We all need people like that in our life to help us on through those tough moments, on those tough days. And, I think you would think that training for a race like this, right? It's an individual sport. Running is individual. I am most of the time out there by myself, but it is in no way an individual endeavor. I have a huge community that I rely on to put me back together physically, mentally, spiritually. And I'm just so grateful. Those people will all be running with me in every single race. And I'm so grateful to have had, the support of everybody from this whole journey.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you both that I am just so blessed that you're part of my community. And I do think that really appreciating the people around you, which you both do, and also making sure that circle around you is the kind of people that you want around you. And I think as we get older, I just want to mention that it's okay for that circle to get smaller because it is a reflection of who we are. It should be a reflection of who we are and what we want to put out into the world. So I hope that my podcast is just a little small speckle of the reflection that you two put out in the world. So I just want to thank you both for being here. And this has been just like the most amazing conversation.
We're so honored. Thank you so much for having us.
I loved it.
Thank you so much. I can't wait to share it.
I can't
or you share it. I'll share what I learned after the race. But yeah, looking forward to meeting again.
Yeah. Great. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Savvy Giving Gal podcast. I hope it sparks a desire in you to dedicate even a small slice of your life to uplifting others. If you love this episode, please share it with a friend and hit the subscribe button. You can follow me on Instagram at Savvy Giving Gal or visit my website, savvygivinggal.com. Remember, when we give together as a community, we not only change the lives around us, we strengthen our own health and well-being too.